leaders. This is Hien. I'm going to be doing an introduction about myself. I don't know where to start, but maybe I'll just start from like a little background, general background. I grew up in Southern California, Long Beach area, Long Beach Poly High. Went to Cal Poly. My parents had a donut shop. I graduated as an aerospace engineer. Worked for like 4.5, 5 years in the trajectory engineering, launching launch vehicles like Minotaur, Atlas into space. Some were kind of like weapons and stuff, but it's kind of cool that we're on this side, kind of thing. But yeah. So after about 2008, got laid off, kind of thing, and then tried my hand in real estate. Got a real estate license for a while, but recession was too long for 2 years, so I did not stay in real estate and realized it was kind of like it was just a lot of work. So didn't want to be out in the sun with a suit and it's just too hot and stuff. So started looking into internet marketing, did some affiliate stuff, Shopify, Amazon, and then started doing some. I always wanted to trade, like do a little coding for TradeBot, and I finally was able to do this with leveraging Haas's bot kind of thing. So my background is really on more like the technical engineering. But what I've learned through internet marketing and doing Shopify is that, like we're like, dude, how are these guys like, pulling $1,000 sales a day and spending $2,000, $3,000, and like, tripling, 4 times their return on investment on their ads. And so I was able to get a coach and kind of walk me through that t-shirt selling stuff and drop shipping. And what I've learned was like it wasn't about how hard I worked, and it was more about scale and quantity. And because of the scale and quantity of constantly researching, launching ads, putting a team together to do each step of the way, that inevitably out of 50 like shirts we created, I finally got one that worked. And that one T-shirt design then expanded out to, and we scaled it outwards because it was it sold, and then and then we kind of it was just to let you know, it was like a musician shirt. It was like a drummer shirt, right? So then it sold, and then we just scaled it out to guitars and basses and pianists and all this other stuff, right? But it took 50 designs, which I could never have done myself. I'm not even the designer, and I have no artistic ability. Um, but it was that frequency of work that produced that success. And then I can say, like all the other gurus out there, like, hey, look, I got this cool technique strategy. All I did was create a t-shirt and sold $30,000 in two months or whatever it was. And then it's like, wow, right? But then when you buy the course and you're like, hey, I'm trying it, and you did like two, and you're like, hey, dude, it's not working. What's going on? It's like, well, how many did you launch? Well, two. Well, you need to launch like 10 or 20 or more. I was like, dude, okay. So you start doing it yourself, and you start to get discouraged, and you're like, this is tiring. I'm not even a designer. I don't even do the best designs at all. And then you realize that you need to hire and scale out and by. So if you did it yourself, you had a slower learning curve. But if you just went, okay, cool, I don't know how to do this stuff, but let me just hire the researcher, the designer, the project manager to upload everything, and just throw money at it, right? You would actually have better success because of the volume of effort that you put into it. And even though you're spending $5 per ad launching everyone and they're failing, eventually you might get one or two that might start to pick up and start to kind of cover the losses. And then you get the one out of 50 later when I first started. But of course that ratio went down as you get better and better. Then that one paid for all the losses, paid for my coaching, and I was like, huh. So I realized that it wasn't how hard I worked, really. It was the quantity of that. And I kind of brought that concept over into the bot that I created for the tuner. Even though we had a great bot in the Haas that can, create bots for one coin, most people will buy the bot. Hey, I like EOS, let's trade EOS, cool. And then you just kind of wait there and like, okay, well, maybe I'll do ETH. And there's like 4 or 5 bots, right, that you can handle. But you don't have the same economy of scale where you can cover over 200 coins or whatever it is, doing the same work, tuning every single one, which is still volume of work, right? But you're doing it all yourself, and you get discouraged again, and it's too much work. Oh my gosh! And but because of that you can scale it with bots and people that you can hire to help you with that. Out of maybe 40, 50 bots that we tune with the tuner, out of that you get a small percentage that goes, oh, right here, and this is where you make the bulk of your income. So, um, yeah, and I've done it manually, and I looked at it. It's like it can tune beautifully. You forward test it, and just totally complete loses, and you spent like a good half hour manually tuning this thing, right? So that's where I came to solve it. And I like to, make sure that if I can build an asset that always pays itself over and over, I'm gonna be all into it. I'm not for selling my time and all the other stuff. I had some coaching, I know, I understand, but I'll probably have to pull that out later on. Um, but you see where that's kind of how I am today. Where currently, we have Amazon that's doing decent, and we're on certain days, certain months, it's doing well, and we kind of build these little fences, right? The Amazon fence, the Shopify kind of e-commerce fence, the TradeBot fence, and different seasons have different cycles. So it might be hot for Amazon on one season, and then after Christmas it just tanks, and well, at least if it tanks, then we have another fence to go to where we can get the chickens here, the the meat, the beef here, kind of thing, and then you kind of work these fences that you create over time. So I'm able to now work from home, well, because of that, and understanding how money works, the fiat system. I don't want like the fancy cars and the fancy house, because all that just basically enslaves you to that if you're not able to afford it. And when you do have money, why put in a liability when you can put that on an asset? So whatever I trade here, I'm eventually going to pull that out and put into hard assets. But I'm waiting for the market to turn a little bit, maybe after 2020, when all this fiat fiasco breaks down and more money printing happens. But we'll see where we go. I'm sure real estate will be cheap by then. And then just take a vacation. What's more valuable is your time with your family and being able to be there with your kids, be able to watch them grow up. And I think I'll put a link somewhere where I kind of have an email sequence of my story, where my dad was always working at a donut shop, and he'll sleep during the day. I'll be in school. By the time I get back from school, he'll probably be sleeping still, and then leave for work at 5-6 o'clock. So I kind of barely saw the guy, and then he'll be tired and exhausted at 4 in the morning. So it's just like I never really got to I never felt like I had a dad, kind of thing. And so I didn't want that for my kids, and I want to be there for them. I don't want to be trading time for money, and selling my freedom to for low minimum wage, where you're taxed the highest, and then and miss out on your kids, where you're not able to instill values to them, be there for them. And I see that in America, with divorce is a pandemic. There's a lot of broken families. And then kids grow up without parents, and they don't know how a father or a mother to show them how family works out, and so they go out and generation after generation. So I'm hoping to help parents stay at home with their kids and be there for them, instill values, be a part of their lives, and so they can grow up knowing that you have a relationship with your children, and they can always come back to you, seek you for guidance and help. So they're not always trying to figure things out on their own. They have someone to go to who they can trust and be part of, kind of thing. Okay, so that's my spiel for now. I think I look forward to your introduction videos if you're daring enough to be on video, and I think that's another growing thing. It was hard for me to just kind of be able to be on video. You're like, oh, I messed up. Just mess it up. Like stutter, it's okay, or whatever. You get better and better, or I see you feel more comfortable being on camera after the first couple more videos that you do. And then once you do that, maybe later on, after this tuner stuff's done, I'll have a second series on how to market your portfolio. There's a little natural sequence of I guess internet marketing type of thing that I could probably show you guys later on. So once you guys get the tuner, you get access to that. You want to help other families kind of get into the wolf pack, and then help them make money. You can charge them commission, kind of thing, and then eventually they'll be able to own the tuner, and then they can help another generation of pack leaders come in, and it'll be a happy cycle. If that's my vision, at least, if it works out. So, but that requires you to feel uncomfortable. It requires you to grow, and also to put your face in front of a camera, so you could build trust. Okay, hopefully, right? It's hard because on the internet it's kind of like you have this little screen, right? And you kind of want to bring that back into a more personable kind of feel. Your flaws and all, my day to day, I still have my, what is that? My stapler down, my table's a mess, kind of thing. It doesn't have to be pristine. Just do the video, kind of thing. So hope to see your video too. I like to kind of see your faces and your personality, how you talk and everything. Just get to know you better. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I look forward to seeing yours. Thanks.